Before the accident, I was a pipe fitting supervisor, travelled to normally chemical plants, and we would install pipework and pumps and anything related to transfer of chemicals from one place to another. We were working at a company which we did work for on a yearly basis. We had some work to do on a heat exchanger where we would test it and check it, which was a normal procedure. There was a slight difference this year because normally it was tested with steam. They decided that they wanted to pressure test it with cold water, which involved accessing a flange on top of the heat exchanger. The only access we had to it was a ladder provided by the company, and whilst working on the flange at the top of the vessel, I slipped, and rather than fall backwards, I decided to jump and try and land on my feet, which I did, but obviously I landed quite badly. The ambulance came and they took us to the hospital. Yeah. Originally they said that I had broken the left ankle and the right ankle was sprained. The right ankle was the one that was the most painful. Eventually I went back to the hospital and asked them to recheck the ankle, and when they did, they said yes, it actually was broken. So I'd had about 14 weeks of using that as my main support, which obviously didn't help. I'd worked for the company for 16, nearly 17 years. They just basically weren't interested at all, so it forced me hand to sort of look into the legal aspect of where I stood, When I got in touch with Stephensons and I was assigned the solicitor to look after us, he organised physiotherapy for us, and with it not working, I was quite stressed out, and they organised some counselling, and they organised, like I say, a little interim payment to try and help us through, because I had basically nearly a year of £100 a week, from what I was earning, which was quite a good wage, The company where we were working at the time were put the claim against, because it was their engineers who were actually in charge of the work on site. We did manage to reach an agreement which does take into consideration that in the future I will have to take a less well paid job. I can possibly work more hours at a less physical role, but obviously not within the skill set that I've got. So with the settlement, I am able to look at that as not being a major problem, because I will have enough money to compensate me for the loss of earnings. Stephensons were great. I had sort of somebody I could talk to whenever I had a problem, and they basically kept me informed of everything that was going on, and they explained that, how long things would take. I would definitely recommend Stephensons as a solicitor. I felt as though I got to know my solicitor, quite well, and would speak on a regular basis, So if I had any questions, I would just ring her or email her, and I would get a reply sort of the next day or the same day, and everything went great.